pennies!
Man, 2025, quite the year. Seriously, so much happened, both in and out of the Rimworld community, with the most important being the Odyssey DLC. This video comes a bit late due to some setbacks on our end, but it's here now. But the mods, oh man, the mods. Plenty of returning and new mods for us to enjoy. Today, it's going to be about the mods that stood out to us. Do keep in mind, it's 50 mods, well over 50 were released in 2025, and we also will not be including continuations or forks, and try to keep one mod for representation from certain creators. So if you have any mods you want to mention as being the top tier from 2025, please let us know and provides links too. Anyway, sit back, relax, check the description for mod links. Yes, we heard your desire for them, and enjoy the 2025 list of awesome mods. Starting off, representing Vanilla Expanded, I think it comes to no surprise that Gravship Expanded Chapter 1 takes the spotlight. Odyssey alone was a great DLC, but this one makes it even more in-depth, forcing you to make sure your ship can sustain crew with oxygen, utilizing astro fuel, more events, more tools, and to make your ship awesome, oh yeah, and making it bigger in the form of the Grav Hulk, so your home on the go is even more awesome. I absolutely love this mod, and the best part, it's Chapter 1. That means more. The base for future Gravship expansions, which according to Oscar, is gonna involve fighting enemy ships, an HR Geiger-inspired insectoid-type enemy in space, and who knows what else. What you do get here can be considered a side grade to space adventures like from Save Our Ship, though less traveling the stars and more traveling the Rim. I should also mention that while we consider this the best mod from Vanilla Expanded from 2025, that the team did release a lot of good stuff, like Medieval 2 and all the Great Quest expansion mods. So we can't wait to see what else bloats our mod lists in 2026. Though, don't think that's the only mod released to improve Odyssey. We got the DLC Collaboration Void Universe mod, a mod that aims to combo Anomaly and Odyssey into an anonymity. Wait, no, that sounds dumb. Well, what isn't dumb is this mod's tweaks to the DLCs. For example, no matter where you go, the monolith follows, allowing you to actually do ritual work on the go. This, on top of allowing anomaly enemies to appear in space, means you can now get access to ominous asteroids or stations left behind. Who knows how long ago to find more materials for your plans. Oh yeah, there is also the new anomaly-themed items for your ship, like flesh mass containers that can be a source of fuel, though for the big one, which requires a ritual to compress a flesh mass nucleus into there, don't break it. Trust me, you don't want that issue, especially in space. But the best thing about this mod isn't the changes nor the items. Well, okay, those are really good. What this mod does, well, and it's the ending. See, remember when I said the monolith follows you? What do you think would happen if the monolith is triggered at the mechanoid hive mind? That's right. If you trigger the anomaly finale during the Odyssey finale, well, there's now a whole new choice for you to make with some sweet rewards. What those rewards are? Well, that would be spoilers. But let's just say who you side with will make for good friends in the future. All in all, a great mod to throw into the mod list if you plan to travel a lot. Then there's GravTech. As it might imply, it's an add-on to Royalty. I'm kidding, it's obviously Odyssey. This one involving the use of Grav cores to give you high-end gear. Now, before you ask, yes, this mod provides a way to make Grav cores the downside. It's gonna cost a lot of Grav panels, advanced components, and a new material called Gravitonium. The good news is that while it normally is meant to be made by your colonists, you also can mine it up via the ground scanning and mine scanning methods. Trust me on this, the efforts will be worth it with a high-end weapon and bionics. Seriously about the bionics, each of them giving great buffs which include vacuum resistances. Though for some of the really advanced stuff, you're gonna need to salvage the mechanoid hive mind and examine that Cerbex node. Yeah, it's gonna be worth it, especially if you make that singularity reactor, which on top of being a huge source of power, can increase how much space your ship can have. Oh, and that's on top of the support with Vanilla Expanded Grav ships, and you can make the unique ship parts right after. Oh, and the Singularity Cannon. This requires linking with a weapons terminal. Do be careful and practice danger close, unless you really want to see half your ship suddenly disappear. Of course, should mention that's from GravTech Big Cannons, another mod made by the author. So yeah, a must-have for any Grav ship playthrough, if only for the ability to craft Grav cores for in-game gear. For storage on the go, take a page out of a smuggler's handbook and get the cargo holds, a mod that lets you utilize floor space to its fullest degree. Yeah, people were happy to see this on the workshop. After all, what ship doesn't have a sweet cargo hold? While the bigger ones do need to be put on grav tiles in your grav ship, the smaller ones are placeable on bases. A great download no matter what. Though if you want something a bit more balanced, the grav ship storage mod also provides extra storage for your ship without being as overpowered as using the literal floor space. Though I can't deny I do like the designs with the glass casing and plasteel-esque looking structures. It fits the vibe of Rimworld to the T, and that's always a plus with any mod. You know what's a good idea? Making your grav ship self-sufficient. The automatic hydroponics help out with that task by being floor-based machinery that automatically grows and harvests whatever you plant in there. The best part, it has a lot of support with other planting mods and other mechanical mods like vanilla expanded chem fuel and nutrient paste. But guess what? There is an add-on to the add-on. So as a bonus, the automatic hydroponics expanded lets you add even more plants into the planters and even adds tiny hydroponics and flower-based hydroponics that act like a type of carpet with furniture on top of them. It's a helpful mod for any playthrough grav ship or not. It is overpowered, yeah, but sometimes you just don't care. Now, while that takes care of the plants in the kitchen, we need to take care of the meat.
I need more meat in my diet!
Yeah, more meat in the diet. So why not fish? And why not use the fish you catch to make more fish? A floor. Yeah, floor-mounted aquariums is like floor-mounted hydroponics, though you will need to make fish food to help the fish multiply. But hey, it also acts as a recreation source where people will fish, watch. Honestly, kind of surprised there wasn't like an aquarium building in the base game. Just something to collect fish in for a beauty bonus. Just food for thought, and hey, now you can grow rice, fish, and have a ship that lives off sushi. Awesome. For something a bit sillier, but on the subject of fishing, electrofishing. Yep, now you can fish like a Florida man and drop some electrical currents into the water to get all the fish at once. I don't need to explain this, but I should. Do not actually do this IRL. Seriously, very dangerous, stupid, and can most likely get you arrested. Out on the rim, however, go nuts. Just remember that electricity hurts anyone in the water, which now makes me think it could be used for defenses. Now, that important thing that will be done in a grav ship is setting up piping, and I ain't just talking about electricity. If you play with any other mods that have a pipe system like nutrient paste, VE chem fuel, and so on, you are gonna need to remember to set up a lot of piping. Yeah, just download the GravShip Hole Pipes mod and save the headache. I am not joking. This mod can save so much frustration by having every GravShip hole piece act as a pipe for any of the supported mods. For saving people frustrations alone, I have to give it a bit of a spotlight. From a sillier mod, the Junk Shuttle, I mean, look at that thing. It looks like something red, green would make with duct tape. A high school degree worth of science knowledge and a bit of luck. I love it for an early game shuttle, even if it isn't the most practical, and honestly, not everything has to be the most efficient or OP. Sometimes it just has to wow us with charm. Just pray it doesn't break halfway through the flight. Those pallets of human leather won't sell itself. For new GravShip holes, how about a hole that has a built-in turret? Yeah, the spaceship turret hole provides turrets that are built right into the wall. Yes, you can have an entire cube ship that has nothing but turrets for descents. Only downside, well, yes, they have unlimited ammo. Not the most accurate, honestly not the worst thing. I'd rather have any defenses for my ship than none at all. And if you want, you could keep it in the inner area of the ship, so if someone crashes the ship, you got built-in defenses. For inner wall changes, try this ship wall enhance mod. While it could use a bit more work, it still has a lot to offer, and I rather like the idea of using the wall to build stuff in, like food production, power banks, or generation, and even defensive items like shielding. Honestly, it's a concept that really should be expanded on, like aquariums for a source of light and beauty, built-in items like tool cabinets, and maybe even bunk beds for crew. Or at least a Murphy bed. Seriously, smaller living mods should be made for the more cozy GravShip colony. Now, what is always useful for a base is turrets. Doesn't need to be explained further. Devices that release a small bit of metal on incoming enemies will always be helpful. However, one problem is reloading, since after a lot of defending, you might come to a point where turrets run out of ammo in the wrong time. In comes Reel's Turret Pipeline, a way to utilize vanilla expanded pipes network to deliver ammo to any connected weaponry, kinda like Factorio. So your pawns don't ever have to get into the line of fire to reload the things keeping them safe. Once again, perfect for grav ships, and yes, it does work with the previously mentioned grav ship hole pipes mod. Of course, if you want more alien fun, try Alien Worlds. Wait, no, that doesn't make worlds full of aliens, it just is a framework that lets you change how the world maps are formed. For example, want a frozen Hoth-like world? You got it. Toxic world that is ravaged and hard to survive? Also possible. A world that's basically hell, fire, and all? You get the idea. This is an awesome way to change gameplay or maybe do some roleplay runs, and I can't wait to see what other alien planets I could do my next run on. Speaking of the world, try the World Tech Levels mod. It basically acts as a full filter for any tech level you choose. Want to be in the medieval era without worrying about mechanoids or other high-tech stuff? You can do that. But if you want to become the dominant force in Rimworld, being the only people who can figure out how electricity and the like work, well, if you turn off the filter for research, suddenly you gain the biggest advantage. This is a great supporting tool for any RP mod list or just for that power fantasy. Keep this one in mind for the next mod list you come up with. By the way, if you are planning to play with medieval stuff, especially Medieval Overhaul, might I suggest the Famine Food mod, a mod that allows you to make food out of, well, whatever bits and pieces you got around, to make sure your pawns don't completely starve to death. Granted, not all of them are appetizing, like Rocktails, which if you ask me, I don't know what is worse, it going in or it coming out 4 hours later. Wait, no, I got a worse one. The black bile soup that uses a rotting corpse as its ingredients. No matter how dark and depraved I get on the rim, I have some standards. At least stuff like the peasant slosh, which is hay and bits of vegetables, has some logic. And if you have Medieval Overhaul, you can make mud pies. It really just salts bits of meat and a whole lot of fat. Very mushy, very unappetizing. For roleplay purposes or to make sure your pawns actually survive another day, try this one, but with a or without Medieval Overhaul. Now, if you want slightly better food, try Unfortunate Food Anomalous Meals. Utilizing the twisted meat of Anomaly, you can now have a full menu of horrifying meals, all without actually driving your colonists to the brink of insanity, like a certain other hotel on the rim that's run by a bard who shall not be named.
We also modified the recipe to not put diners in a full-blown coma, but rather cause brief but intense moments of dread. Oh, it's got kind of a nice tang to it.
Instead, you get delicious meals like jellied rashers, mixing toxic meat, insect jelly, and a hint of hot sauce to help resist the toxicity of the rim. Though not the toxicity of the comment section, nothing can protect you from that. Seriously though, I absolutely love this. Twisted meat usually doesn't have much of a use outside of an Anomaly playthrough. Best use I can think of is animal feed, or making meals to feed to prisoners, but now you actually can create fine meal side grades that not only get rid of the meat, but gives some nice bonus to boot. I imagine the restaurants on the rim are gonna want to download this recipe book. Of course, if you want some restaurant goers about ones who might appreciate the more strangeness on the rim, more creep joiners add to the strange people who may join you from Anomaly, all with new backstories, vibes, and abilities. Some joiners include ones who can devour mystic trees for permanent buffs, ones who can turn a person's limbs into biofright bionics. The higher the quality, the more powerful they are. To even joiners who can take the traits, downsides, and abilities of other creep joiners, they are called Highlanders. I guess there can only be one. Yeah, just for some added variety, this is a must if you want to play Anomaly. Now, if you want actual Anomaly expansions, try the Russ Parks Crisis. It makes, well, how do I put this, zombie machinery. You know how there is the Shamblers as an undead plague? Imagine a virus that does that to machinery. You will be dealing with machinery that wants to turn on humanity. At least your rewards afterwards might help you in the future, but can your colony survive it? I'd tell you more, but half the fun of Anomaly is dealing with the unknown. My suggestion: keep an eye on your electronics. They might not have your best interests in mind. Now, know what isn't an Anomaly but maybe should be? Uranium beavers. Yeah, that's the mod. It's a silly mod where uranium beavers can show up, eat your trees, and make dams. Oh, and you can harvest uranium from their dams or tame them and shear them for their uranium. Again, it's silly and small, but that's what I love to also show. case those simple mods that do what it's set out to do and is happy with it, plus that less work for the writers since it's practically self-explanatory. Just be careful, they bite. Alright, for something a little more spoopy, one with death, a mod that lets you go full Ron Perlman, and because a lich or undead warrior, he's done both. A really good mod that fits well in Rimworld's gameplay loop. Think of it as a variant of Mechanitors, where you build up your control nodes for some undead, research specialized undead, like how one would make specialized mechanoids and so on, all starting from a real spoopy book. From there, you must make a sacrifice to unlock forbidden knowledge. From there, well, like the mod creator, I'm not going to spoil too much. I recommend playing this mod and see what kind of spooky, scary skeleton shenanigans you can get into. Now, if you want less than necromantic abilities, how about the Force? That's right, you now can become a Jedi or Sith right on the rim with the Force standalone mod, providing you with the abilities to learn the Force, if it was just that. It should still be on the list, because the Force is cool. However, the mod also provides multiple Force disciplines. It's not just light or dark side. How about playing with just Night Sister magic, training with sabers, telekinesis, or Jedi Knight training and Sith sorcery? It's not just black and white. Okay, it is still light and dark side, but hey, you can specialize yourself. There are dynamic alignment systems in place to track a pawn's alignment with what powers they use and what paths they can take. Master and apprentice mechanics, not to mention the ability to test if someone is Force sensitive. So a lot in one thing, but I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the other Star Wars mods the creators made, namely the lightsaber mod, where you can create custom sabers, and the Force factions mods. Throw those in with the Force and you can have a full Star Wars playthrough. Of course, one of the strongest abilities in the anime has to be Dio's Time Stop. Yeah, the world. The mod Stuncaster lets you cast a Time Stop ability. Granted, it only stops anyone who isn't the caster from moving for a bit, but the ability to reposition can be one of the most powerful abilities in Rimworld. It may be tiring, it may be locked behind Archotech mediation, but in battle, a few seconds can mean victory or defeat. Now we just need a Dio outfit mod. But perhaps you want the power of a well-oiled military with the faith of the Emperor. Rimworld 40k has that for you, in this case representing them, regiments of renown. A supply of different troop armor and weapons from the Katachan jungle fighters to the tempestuous Seons to even the Tanith first and only. Ways to arm your troops with the gear of the Imperium of mankind will always look good. And this is just one mod wearing the Rimworld 40k moniker. I'd say more, but this mod doesn't provide as much as the other one, acting more as an add-on for the lesser-known factions in the Imperium. If you want more, 2024 had a good run of 40k mods that we covered in the past. Look it up. We've made some videos. For more military might, may I suggest Black Market's Race's Doberkin. With the loyalty of a dog, but with the instinct of a commando, these canine companions will be welcome in any colony's offensive or defensive line. Yeah, I can see why my writer loves this xenotype. We're both dog people, and also the kind of people who enjoy some useful weapons and armor. I do mean it when I say useful. The gear you might notice seems to be taking inspiration from a certain anime. Yeah, it's Jinro. The armor and weaponry is also high quality, from shotguns to assault rifles, and if you can get it, lasers that turn anyone they hit into nothing. Bren can cite many times his main Doberkin sniper accidentally friendly firing allies with the DEF Lancer. It wasn't that they were in the line of fire, it was the impact sight that got him. Yes, of course. Of course, Brent. That's of course what did it. It was just the impact sight. Keep in mind, for some things, some weapons require having battery packs or kinetic ammo packs equipped, which do require rearming for ammo. And for the really big guns, you're gonna need the proper shield commander set, that Lancer being one of them. But trust me, totally worth the effort to set up your super soldiers. And of course, like all good race mods, there is a game start with them, to the standard crash landed with 3 start, or then you start with 2 armed Doberkin and abandoned base wanting to be mercs. Both are nice. Black Market, great race mod. Hope to see more from you in 2026. Speaking of xenotypes, made by a prolific modder, how about from Det, his take on the delicious in-dungeon half-foot? Yeah, it's pretty obvious, the inspiration, but honestly, I am down for it. The Rimworld xenotype here are natural tinkerers, perfect for mechanitors or just standard crafters. Even if they get a little hot-headed, their small bodies are easily staggered, so it balances out. Plus, you get cool goggles and a wrench that's perfect for smacking people. Should mention that isn't the only mod Det put out in 2025. I just feel this is what a simple Rimworld mod should be. Fits the vibe of the Rim, maybe referencing something, and fits in a lot of playthroughs without standing out too hard. Det is the master of mods that fit as pieces of a whole puzzle, and Bren loves to play with his xenotypes all throughout his playthroughs. Also, his guns have you seen his arsenal. This would have been on the list if it didn't come out in 2024. So there is a modder we never really talked about, but they have actually made a lot of mods. Turkler. One of their better mods we can show they released was Faction Expansion Sovereignty. This mod aims to be a sort of side grade to the Empire, but on an industrial level. What do they bring as benefits? Well, if you establish yourself as an independent faction, the sovereign city-states will send a representative to your base to ask for you to join. Join up and you get access to trade and support and, of course, plenty of bandits to kill and loot. However, we should mention they do have some rules, like for instance, no sub-persona constructs with physical forms, no combustible livestock, and no anti-matter munitions. Yeah, they really don't want trouble within their sovereignty, and the base is unified under it. If you aren't hostile around 2 to 3 times a quadrant, they will send inspectors to check up on you. Fail 3 inspections and, well, guess you are the enemy. But if you decide to rebel or just not join at the start, then have fun with handmade bases to invade and specialized pawns to fight. Honestly, not a bad deal for those who want an overarching force in the industrial area. Kind of like the royalty for the spacer tech area. Wonder what else they made. Oh, mods for the next curse list of mods. Before you ask, yes, very well made. No, not gonna discuss them right now. Moving on. And move on we shall. Into the Fallout Collaboration Project, or FCP set of mods. This entire mod project devoted to bringing the wasteland to the Rim. With all sorts of themed weapons, armor, and toys to represent their work of 2025, I can think of no better choice to fit than the NCR add-on, providing you with all sorts of new Californian Republican gear. Yes, you can now have your sniper pawn go around in that awesome NCR Veteran Ranger armor and that sweet Ranger Sequoia revolver. Oh, and plenty of NCR dollars. I suppose any colony needs some toilet paper if you want to play with a more RPG-type gameplay. They work with Chicken Plucker's faction mod mechanics and include a way for you to enlist the NCR Rangers. Just caravan to an NCR settlement, ask to enlist, and you can be provided provisions, tasks, and of course, know you are keeping the region safe. Or not. Maybe you just want to bring down the NCR. More power to you. All I know is that the FCP brand of mods are ones you need to check out. And I really mean you do. You need to check it out. Now you are armed, but need more materials. Time to go hunting ancient ruins for more goodies. Biggest thing now blocking you, DRM and firewalls. Odyssey sure made bringing along the way smart genies and away missions more viable, since you will be doing a lot more hacking in the systems. But now we got a full hacking expansion letting you salvage data, improve your hacker skills, oh yeah, and remotely shut down enemy turrets and mechanoids. Real Hackerman stuff for the win, and all balanced to fit in Rimworld nice and snug. My favorite part of this mod is the Cyberpod, a reworked Scrytosleep casket where your hacker can stay behind in the base, or better yet, a grav ship, then remotely hack away at anything you want, like doors for your squad to move forward in the base, enemy turrets, or incoming mechanoids. Granted, mechanoids do tend to take longer to hack, not to mention have harder security, so you have been warned. A real treat of a mod, and I hope to see more from the dev. I mean, they also brought us craftable Luciferium glitter world tech, shamblers, plagues, and even biological warfare, so you know they are gonna keep on making good stuff. Of course, with all that hacking, you are gonna need some real targets to mess with. Might I recommend the Mechanida platform, a platform full of mechs for you to land your grav ship on. Do keep in mind for this one, it's gonna be a difficult fight, a lot of mechs, but the loot might be worth it. Be it the scrap from the mech boss fight, mechs and therefore their loot, and of course, biotech bionics to take. High risk but high reward, just the way a lot of us love it out on the Rim. Oh, And on the subject of graph shipping, you are gonna need a lot of hauling. Seriously, the loot you can find can be insane. Get the jump lifter mech. This isn't a joke. Yes, it's overpowered, but know what it does? Saves on TPS when all you need is 2 jump lifters to basically do the job of 10 haulers. They teleport around, grab the item, and teleport back. Highly recommended for any playthrough where you are going to be doing a lot of hauling, or just in general, because again, eases up on your PC's TPS. Great quality of life mech, highly recommended. Now, if you are planning to have a mechanitor, you are going to need to train a crafter, and sometimes that can be a bit difficult, especially early game. Might I recommend the All Production Gives XP mod, a simple little mod that makes it so that all smelting, stone cutting, and chem fuel provides a bit of experience. A great quality of life for those of us who don't want a stockpile full of clubs and shirts just to train crafting like it's Skyrim. Now how about them sentries and wasp traps? Can be pretty annoying to deal with them when out exploring, but what about using them? The wasp trap pack plus sentry trap pack is a mod that, well, lets you do that. Not only making a trap that activates either sentries or wasp drones to attack anything hostile that comes near it, but it also provides wearable packs for pawns to be able to launch them when needed. Reloadable variants too. I love this. It's a cool tool for an emergency, say caught out in the open for a sudden raid or a mad animal. Drop a sentry or a wasp trio and let them distract and keep your pawn safe, or just a tool for combat to cause more damage. These aren't gonna help too much against harder hitting enemies, but in the early to mid game, these can really help in a pinch. Plus, it's funny to have enemies get close to your line of sentries and wasps and suddenly get engulfed with metal mayhem. So here's a neat mod, mechs and animals from NPC factions. This mod makes it so factions when they raid can come with a backup. After all, it makes no sense why tribals wouldn't tame more animals, or pawns who have the potential to be mechanitors wouldn't show up to raid you. It's a cool way to keep you on your toes as you handle different opponents, and maybe give them a bit more bite to balance out the fact you are more than likely using overpowered modded gear against them. Surprised this isn't a base game mechanic, to be honest, but hey, that's what modding is for. So anyone remember this old picture? Yeah, that's a classic bit of old Rimworld art, but it gives how evil centipedes were, and still are. Don't blame anyone for making art like this. Why am I bringing this up? There's a mod to make it so when you kill centipedes, muffalos will pop out. Yeah, that's it. A nice silly mod that brought back some good nostalgic memories. And hey, think of it as a way of not only getting metal, but meat to boot after a mechanoid raid. So, you may have heard of the Cat in the Hat, but have you heard of the Rat with the Gat? Well, now you have. A mod that tapes pistols to the backs of rats. Somehow they can shoot at things randomly, and there is no other use beyond that. That's it. It will now be taking many more questions, and I will be moving on from this silly mod, which is somewhat... I do adore a pistol with a rat on its back, a rat pistol with a backpack. On a more serious bestiary note, we have the Mythic Ages Megafauna mod to provide what else? Megafauna. And if you don't know what megafauna is, the term refers to large animals that weigh over 99 pounds, so elephants and the like. Here we get huge animals out on the rim that are Thrumbo-like in terms of strength and value. Be warned, they are not going to go down without a fight. Some will hunt your colonists, some might be difficult to tame and raise, but oh, the rewards on top of a lot of meat and leathers. Some provide unique drops that raises the risk to acceptable. The Plastomorph, I think I said that right, are mammoths that have plasteel armor plating, a great early source of plasteel, I guess, if you want to risk it. Deer moss are giant deers who provide a healing moss to those willing to tame it and take care of it, plus a milk that can be refined into a drought that helps with speeding up healing. Oh, interesting. But to be careful, plenty of them are carnivores. Plenty of them will see your pawns as a delicious meal and they will put up a fight. Like the Scarodon, a saber-toothed tiger with a powerful beating heart that grants an unnatural healing. So if you plan to kill it, you better make sure you finish the job. Yeah, this is a great mod for tribal and medieval playthroughs, as the theme is more naturalistic, things that when hunted would be returned to the tribe and village with celebration for both the meat and the materials and the hunters, and outside of it, I could see a Grafship playthrough where you can go on a safari and try and hunt or tame and collect them like a giant space hunting safari people. Yes, like, I don't know, like space poachers. Certainly a great looking mod, but wait, there's more! Now, if you are looking for something a bit more fantastical, check out Dark Ages Beasts and Monsters. The Dark Age series of mods are designed to enhance the medieval aspects of the Rim, so if you are playing with Medieval Overhaul, this is a given. Granted, you can play with this mod in a modern time. It was designed more for medieval. It's the designs I love. From the adorable little silver moles to the mighty rock troll to those annoying fracks that remind me way too much of those blood bugs from Fallout 4. Ugh, but they are fun to pop with a pistol at the start of the game. Great designs and variety for any landscape, medieval or otherwise. Throw this in with the megafauna and your colonists will have a heck of a time hunting. Now, if you go and collect a bunch of unique weapons or just weapons in general, even thought to yourself, wow, I bet I could wire them up and use them to eliminate annoying door-to-door salesmen, then I got a mod for you. Also, you might have other issues. Custom turrets is a mod that lets you make custom turrets. Just set up the turret, have a pawn equip a weapon you want to mount and have that pawn mount in it, and boom. Want a shotgun trap in the hallway? Go do that. Sniper rifle turrets that work at a turret that's just a revolver. I mean, not really the best weapon, but hey, you do you. It works real well. Though before you get started, a few caveats. One, only works on weapons that can keep firing, so no one shoot weapons like rockets. Two, if you mount a weapon into the turret, that's it. You will not get it back, even if you deconstruct the turret. So make sure you are fine with losing it permanently. Still, despite the small cons, great fun mod to put into any mod pack, more so if you got more wild weapon mods to throw into them. And I think that this mod might make its way into a unique kill box video. I mean, my goodness, what kind of kill boxes could we make with these custom turrets? I've got to write it down. Bren, write it down. Of course, if you really want to make use of the weapons, then get Cyberbrain's Weapon Proficiency mod. This mod lets your pawns, as the title implies, get weapon proficiency, becoming faster and more accurate with weapons the more they use them. This also comes in two flavors, a weapon era proficiency and the weapon itself, like using a tribal spear would give you Neolithic experience for all Neolithic weapons, but also experience in the spear itself. So you could, in the endgame, have a pawn real good at using weapons that normally would be bottom tier. A real mysterious stranger. Perhaps a master sniper who can quickly eliminate targets before they are a problem. So on and so forth, and the best part, it works with just about any mods that adds weapons as it looks for whatever era of technology it's based on to determine that proficiency. The weapon itself also gets its own experience. Pawns also can start with already having experience and passions in certain weapons. Not to mention you can give them books to give experience to weapons to the reader. I'm glad to find out about this one. Maybe now my colonists will last more than a week out in the Rim. Now, a lot of us used the allow tools throughout the years, but sadly it has been getting on in age along with Hugslip. I'd like to recommend an alternative, Keys Allowed Utilities, a mod that is a remake of the original allow tools with more focus on performance. Honestly, don't need to explain why allow tools is good and why having this is great. Those extra orders and mechanics are practically base game, and now I can have it without as much performance issues, yes please. For another in the quality of life type of mods, keep converting. Okay, show of hands. How many of you forget about the convertibility your moral guide can do halfway through the game? Yes, because I have a lot. Many others too. So this mod gives a keep converting option where you select the pawn to keep converting and then your moral guide will automatically use that ability when the ability recharges, stopping when the target is fully converted. It's a simple mod, but it's a very, very useful mod in terms of quality of life, and it's just something that I love. I get scattered all the time when I'm playing Rimworld. I forget what I'm doing a lot of time, and I just lose track of things, especially later on when there's a lot going on. And stuff like this just makes it easier to keep things organized and clean and keep things flowing, you know? So get this mod. It's a good one. But back to the video. Know what makes no sense? When allies show up to help or when a merchant caravan just happens to get involved with your issues. Ever notice how they don't help each other? It's like, wow, we barely survived. Anyone still alive? No? Well, bye. While leaving like 3 other guys to bleed to death all over your nice yard, no more. Now with allies are helpful, the allies will actually, well, they'll be helpful. Not just to each other, like pulling wounded pawns out of the battlefield and healing them. This also includes your pawns actually gives a reason to make proper friends with other factions. Hey, maybe I'll even rescue allied pawns who fall in the line of battle for my amusement. Now, if you want to make a super soldier or that one pawn who is your main character, check out the evolutionary gene mod. It's a simple gene. All it does is improve a pawn's stats based on what they do. So the more they run, the faster they become. Constantly shooting improves their sight, and doing work, well, makes them better at it. It's basically an Elder Scrolls Souls leveling system, just doing stuff until you get better and better. A good bit of fun for more overpowered runs I know some people love, just like my writer. Now, if you are going out and about, you are gonna find a lot of loot and items, but what if you could turn them into immortality? You might think I'm insane, but really I'm not. More useful injections lets you do that, and I'm not kidding about the immortality. While there are some good injections that use Nutrimine and a bunch of other normal prescription creation making items, what you want to know about is the hardest hitting stuff. Well, for immortality, you will need 8 Glitterworld medicine, 10 Luciferium, 35 Nutrimine, and a healer mech serum, all for an injector that provides a slow but constant health regeneration on top of some buffs to the health. But guess what? It can get better. If you combine a tech-proof Persona Core, a Vanometric power cell, 100 Luciferium, 2 anti-grain warheads, an infinite chem reactor, and a Resurrector mech serum, you can create the Chaos Omega Injector, an injector that can give a pawn one of 5 super OP buffs. Yeah, have fun going around collecting material like they are the Dragon Balls. But hey, no one said immortality and power was easy to get. Now this is for the mechanitors in the audience. Know what's annoying? Having to lead your mechs out of the base to attack people. How about instead you download the Mechs Engage mode? What it does is it puts a new mechanoid control group order for you to use, that being Engage mode. Think of it as a Terminator mode. They will go on standby waiting for any hostile enemies to show up and then move out to attack. Now, a couple of things to mention with this: while in Engage mode, they won't recharge. 2, you still have no control over them, so you are more likely to have them get smashed up. Still, if you don't mind having to repair and rebuild your mechs after a fight, it could be hilarious to wait inside and then unleash the horde of scythers or other military mechs on your neighbors. Finally, we have map vehicles. I had to include this mod. It's basically the Odyssey DLC before it came out. Using the vanilla vehicles framework, you can create your home on wheels. I'm serious when I say if not for Odyssey, this would be the premier travel mod for nomadic living. But hey, it can be. Imagine the nomadic medieval peasants with pulled carts going from place to place to live. It has a lot of potential for RP playthroughs or just playing the traveler lifestyle without the Odyssey DLC. For how ahead of the curve it was, I have to salute you. So, 50 mods from 2025, not even that. I'm sure there were plenty we missed that we didn't even think to add. For that, please let us know in the comments, because I'd like to know what to bloat my mod list with. In all seriousness, thanks for another year of supporting us, and I'd like to thank all the Patreons that supported us for a year and gave us all their assistance and everything else. It really means a lot to us here in the Noobert team. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you in the next one.